is Rosa Kornak here and Patricia Borman. Is amazing day today again, and we are coming back to you with bread discussions and what's wrong with that bread, or actually not with bread itself, but with all that what we gain in years and years, adding it up or removing out of the bread where our grandparents were eating. So we discussed it quite a lot. Patricia, remind us a bit what we discussed till now.
Well, we have talked about what is so bad about bread. So it's some of the ingredients in the bread, the way it's grown, the way it's processed, and then the way we bake our bread as opposed to how it's commercially made. Big differences there. And so we've talked about sourdough bread, why that is so beneficial. And today we're going to look at the flour.
Yes, definitely. The flour. The whole grain and wholemeal. We know we have heard the terms, but I don't know if many people know actually the difference. If you can tell us what actually is the difference.
Yes, and it sort of varies a little bit by country, so you do have to read your labels, but generally whole grain, as it is implied, is the whole grain. The flour is made with the whole grain of the flour. Now the whole grain has bran, germ, and the endosperm.
Okay.
So bran, I think we've all familiar with bran. It's lovely fiber, but it actually has ingredients. So it has B vitamins and minerals and iron and magnesium, and of course that beneficial insoluble fiber. But the germ contains B vitamins, vitamin E, phytochemicals, antioxidants, and omega-3s. Now, interestingly about that vitamin E,
which is all,
well, it's very healthy for us, but most commercial flour producers take that germ out with the vitamin E, and they sell it to cosmetic companies, manufacturers. They can get more money for it that way. Is that shocking?
Shocking, yeah. I didn't know that.
And another reason is because oil, as we know, will go rancid. And, oil doesn't have a very long shelf life. So if they take it out of the flour, then of course the bread has a longer shelf life, and then they pump it full of preservatives and stuff as well. So, and that contributes to the uniformity of the loaves, and they're nice and soft. So, but it's so nutritious for us, and having that whole grain, then stone ground, is wonderful. And we covered in one of our previous episodes that the Roman and Egyptian armies traveled and fought on bread largely.
Yeah.
And the endosperm is the real problem, because it has the carbohydrates and a little bit of protein, a little bit of B vitamins, but mostly the carbohydrates. So when white bread was fed to lab rats, they died because there's just nothing in it. It's just empty food. And our bodies process it in about a half an hour. But the whole grain bread helps to lower type 2 diabetes risk. And the reason being, the white bread, it metabolizes so quickly because your body's like, there are no nutrients in here. There's nothing, we can't do anything with it. So just get rid of it. Whereas the whole grain, especially if it's sourdough, fermented, but your body takes a couple of hours to process that. So you're not feeling hungry. You're not going to eat again so soon, but your body's extracting all those beautiful nutrients and sending them where they need to be in our body. So it's, that's the way food is meant to be. But it also, the benefits of whole grain, it lowers chronic inflammation. It keeps you regular because of that lovely bran and that insoluble fiber. Helps to prevent against breast cancer. And significant, just great cardiovascular benefits. So I'm just skimming over, but I've got a paper here that you can't see it, but it cites studies to support those things. So if you're interested in that,
Yes,
ask myself,
let us
or
know.
Dr.
Yeah,
Cornett.
we can link it and give to people as well. Yeah.
So
Do you have
anything,
something? Do you have something with you? Because I'm so used to you always bring something to the call. And could you show me that pack?
I do. So I'm very, very fortunate. At 15 minutes from my house, I discovered this lovely gentleman, Gift of Bread. It's in Martok. So if you're anywhere near me, you can find him. The Gift of Bread. This is organic, of course, sprouted whole grain wheat flour.
Mm-hmm.
Sprouted. So
Why
don't
sprouted
run
is
to the,
important? Why sprouted is important?
well, sprouted, that's a great question. So Michael takes the organic grain of wheat and he soaks it till it just starts to sprout. Just you get that little it's like a little root or a little sprout just poking through, and then he stops and he dries it. So it's alive. It's alive, and it's just brimming with nutrients, even more nutrients. And then he dries it and he grinds it himself. So it's very, very fresh and very beneficial. And then I have a friend in France, so we've been sharing bread recipes. And well, it's our friend Josie. You know,
Yeah,
Josie from France.
Josie, you probably hear us.
I'm sorry?
I'm sure she will be watching us.
Yes. Well, she'd love to have a mention. Well, she sent me a picture of some bread flour that she can get locally in France. That's also, you know, beautiful, organic whole grain and all that. So you don't have to look very far. You don't have to look very far. And I love supporting independent entrepreneurs.
There are lovely people with lovely heart and soul to just actually feed us properly and, you know, give the right healthy food on our plates. So support the local farmers who doing things right.
Well, that's right. And well, Britain is a nation of shopkeepers anyway, and entrepreneurs, but I think more and more people are discovering now. And it's fascinating to see how entrepreneurial people are. Michael set this whole production up himself, and he teaches sourdough bread making workshops so that everybody knows how to make sourdough bread.
Yeah, and I will be blessed to be with you in a few weeks' time for that kind of workshop. I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, they are regular, isn't it? That is he doing that regularly, those workshops.
Yes.
If somebody would
Rose,
like.
we need to broadcast from there, don't we? And show people.
Do some live together or something like that would be great. And I know one thing what you may don't know yet, but I will tell you. Patricia is excellent in many things, and she has a massive knowledge not only in the bread, but she has a knowledge in horses as well. And tonight she will be interviewing very lovely people, and we want to invite you for that. If you are a horse lover and you care for horse, you own the horse, or you know somebody who actually would like extend your knowledge, tell us what you're gonna talk about tonight.
Well, I've known Michael and Dawn for many, many years, and they are equine experts in many areas. But we're going to talk about the horse's hoof tonight. The horse's hoof. So many things affect the hoof that originate in the horse. It's not just about the hoof being worn out, you know, being in contact with the ground or bad shoes or something like that. So many factors. And we will have Q&A. So if you see this message on the 9th of October before 6 p.m. British Standard Time, ping myself or Dr. Rosa and ask for that Zoom link. We don't want to post it. We've had problems with hackers before, so we don't want to do that. But It will be recorded. So if you see this later on, ask us for the recording. If you know, farrier or vet or just a horse owner, breeder, valuable information. Last week we talked about glyphosate and horses. So
yeah, that is a big problem, not only for human. Those chemicals are
terrible.
nothing. Thank you so much. And see, you always can learn something new, something more. And do I ask everything? We already talked about benefits, and isn't it? Recap just few benefits of that.
Well, we've talked about the benefits of making sourdough bread and eating, you know, good organic bread. Some question that often comes up is multigrain. So if whole grain is really good for you, then multigrain must be better. Well, a caution is, because I've suffered with food sensitivities most of my life, and it normally comes from your body just saying, oh, I can't break that protein down anymore. I need a rest. So you want to rotate. You want to rotate the grains that you have. You don't want to have a heavy concentration of them all at once, days and days and days. Maybe 3 days of bread of wheat grain and then alternate to another grain is a really good idea. But just because it says multigrain doesn't mean those grains haven't been overly processed.
Okay, that is good tip. I would think like, oh, I would add that, and some seeds, maybe more, but maybe sprinkle only on the outside. That would be a good idea, not mix the flours, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for
my pleasure.
And see ya all next time.
See you next time.